Alright, so I'm back again. I wanted to give you guys another update on the Suzuki. It's a '07 gsxr 600 turbo build. Where I left off at last time was on the fueling system. I figured out where I'm going to route the regulator, and I found the hat that I was telling you guys that I modified to take the return line. It actually is not going to work. I mean, I probably could make it work, but I didn't. The way I'd have to modify the tank where the seal's at, it was just too close for comfort. So it's an AN fitting with a line on it. Comes in the inside for the return. So I'm not actually going to use this. I mean, I probably could. Probably find a way to make it work. I actually like this design, but what I did was a little bit different. I'll show you guys. So on the new setup, I actually have the tank on now. I tapped in the tank for the return line coming from the regulator, and where I mounted the regulator was back here in the tail. So basically what I'm going to do is move all my electronics out to the side that I'd have in the tail. My regulator's going to run back here. I haven't decided if I'm going to run a line to move the pressure gauge up to the front or not. I'd have to make a mount for it because of the mounts that I'm going to put on here. They're full. I'm going to run a boost gauge and an air fuel ratio gauge, so I don't know for sure if I'm going to move this or not. Basically what I did was, so I took this line here as my return instead of having in the hat, so I can still run it in the tank pump, have my gas gauge work, but on an E85 pump. So my return line is going to come from here, and if I ever have to take the tank off, what I did was routed it through with a basically it's pieced together here, so two lines. So all I would have to do is just disconnect this line. I'm probably going to put a one-way valve in this line to where when you disconnect, the fuel won't come out and it can only go in. And then I think I already explained to you guys how I'm going to do the line leading up to the regulator coming out of the fuel rail, out of the one that I modified. So I just want to give you guys that update, show you guys the hat that I had made, that I modified for the pump. I may still try that design on another tank. Basically, it's just a hair too small, well, too big, so I'd have to grind in here to get it to fit the diameter of that pipe, which is a little too close to the seal for comfort for me. If I find another way, you might be able to go into that a little bit to get it to fit, but it's barely off for the bolt holes to line up. So I just changed it. Again, I may try to find a way to make that style work. Some people may not want to, put a hole in their tank. I didn't really care. I like this design better, having it in the hat, because then you just remove the pump and your tank is still normal. But I mean, if I ever wanted to, take turbo kit off or something like that, I can just take this off and try to find a cap for it to plug on there, and it's be perfectly fine. There is a line, a piece of tubing that comes off the back of here, so it goes up, so it's just not sitting at the bottom. It doesn't quite go all the way to the top, but it goes up, probably 4 or 5 inches. And I think that's it. I am going to do another update. I'm waiting on some more parts to get the I'm gonna get my plenums back hopefully Tuesday, and then I'll be putting those in, and then I'll do an update on where I put a blow-off valve and where I set everything up for my vacuum lines. I am considering doing a air to water plenum. So basically this was a air-to-air system off of a Audi that I was parting out, and basically what I did was I cut it down, cut that section off, and this is I was putting the new base plate in, basically something to weld off of, and I may probably end up boxing this in and putting it in my plenum design somehow, and then closing these ends off here and putting AN fittings so the water will run through. I have flow tested it, and it's got a pretty good flow, so I believe it would work. And that's in order to do a air to water setup. if I do end up using this, I'll do another video on that to kind of show you guys how I did it, you know. So if anybody wants to do it themselves, it gives them an idea. You can pick up one of these fairly cheap. I mean, any junkyard. This one came off an '08 Audi A4 2.0 turbo that I had in my backyard. So, you know, the channels are big enough. They flow quite a bit of water. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. So yeah, I'll do another update once I get some more parts in. I just wanted to give you guys a idea on how I'm doing the rest of my fuel system and where I ended up routing that regulator. So once I get the parts in, I'll do another update for you guys. All right, stay tuned.